So, my first question was, do you prefer playing drunk Nate, sober Nate, or casual drinker Nate?
The lines have blurred, certainly. I don't, it depends on what the situation is. Sometimes it's been interesting. I mean, this year, the third season, it's certainly been interesting to move away from so-called drunk Nate and to be sort of the Nate that is a little bit more hardened after prison and much more man on a mission, wants to keep the team in line and everything, and test them out a little bit and see which one has what it takes to maybe one day lead their own crew, kind of thing. But then every once in a while, it's nice to kind of call back that this guy, Nate Ford, really does have a problem, and when things get to be too intense for him, he does turn to the bottle. And then how does he function with that? But when it gets morose, I don't really like that. We're moving away from that, so that when he becomes kind of unable to function, it becomes less interesting.
So for anyone who hasn't seen Leverage, what's the most important thing for them to know about Nate Ford?
I guess the most important thing to know about Nate Ford is that he's this completely damaged guy who is trying everything to kind of rebuild his life, and he discovered that the only way that he can kind of become a solid citizen again is to help other people, and that he needs to move on and from various tragic things that have happened to him and devote his life to helping other people that have been scammed or ripped off.
Are there any decisions that Nate made that you personally don't agree with?
Well, I think, but I enjoy the methods by which Nate, goes about taking bad guys down. Sometimes it's incredibly heavy-handed because Nate's passion for really hurting and harming scammers, con artists, is pretty interesting. I don't know that myself or anyone else who does the show would actually go that far and just totally ruin someone's life who has ripped someone off. But it's what makes the show fun. Yeah.
So when Leverage eventually ends, who's going to get the painting of Harlan Leverage III?
I don't know. That will probably go to Dean Devlin's office or John Rogers' office. Yeah. It's not anything I want, I'll tell you that.
What's your favorite thing about playing Nate Ford?
Probably my favorite thing about playing Nate Ford is getting to play other characters other than Nate Ford. I mean, Nate Ford, when a plan is being put together, Nate decides, who's going to do what and how they're going to proceed with the plan. And sometimes he's the one who infiltrates or takes on a role to become a con artist and to try to deflect attention away from the others. And those are always fun to play, whether it's a slimy lawyer or, someone who's crawled out from under a rock. I think that Nate really enjoys playing those parts. And I enjoy the fact that I've decided that Nate enjoys playing those parts.
So there's a whole lot of geeky references throughout the show, especially in Hardison's dialogue. When you're reading through the scripts, do you pick up on a lot of those geeky references, or are they just, out there?
I pick up on some of them. I mean, certainly the Avengers, and some Doctor Who, but some other things, I'm not the one on the set that it's John Rogers and some of the other guys who are Trekkies and everything and know all that stuff,